Struggling to find good ideas for your next marketing campaign? Here's a cool tool you can use to help you connect the dots in ways you could have never imagined. One of my favorite creativity tools to use in brainstorms is a mind map. It takes a little while to get going, but once you've laid it all out, you will have access to so many creative and unexpected combinations that you will literally run out of paper trying to write them all down. So, what is a mind map? In essence, it's an expanding network of word associations that help you visualize the whole picture and identify new combinations. The great thing about the mind map is that it's also a spectrum, because you can decide how far outside the box you want to take it, how deep you want to dive. So this can lead to both safe and some disruptive ideas, making this a really great all-rounder when it comes to creativity tools that can be suitable for the more creatively restricted briefs, as well as the adventurous ones. So how does it work? Well, first, you need a piece of paper and a pencil. I know, it's old school, but you start by drawing a circle and defining your audience. If you work in healthcare like me, this could be patients or healthcare professionals, but you need to have some decent information about them in advance, which is also why this is a great exercise to do while listening to your team present all the research and background around your project. And so you define who are you communicating to, and then in smaller circles, write down everything that you know about them. For example, let's start by defining this particular audience as a group of mostly men who are particularly stressed or time poor, but we also know that they're very interested in learning and self-improvement. Write down everything and anything you know about them. The thing about having to fit all of this information into little circles is that it really forces you to be precise with your words, which is a little bit more difficult, but it will help you with your thinking process in the long term. Next, focus on your product or service. This could be a healthcare brand, like a medicine or a device. But as before, list as much of the information that you know about that product. All the benefits, positives, negatives, customer perceptions around it, etc. Now you could also do this with other categories. For example, you could create multiple other circles. Maybe you can have one around the disease area that your campaign is about, or you can have another circle around a different key stakeholder, maybe like an advocacy group, anything you need. Keep populating the page with smaller circles and all the information that you know about each of these categories. Now, once you've done this once, and if you want this to be a relatively safe campaign, you could just stop your mind map here. However, if you want something really different, you could take a deeper dive into each of the subcategories. For example, here, one of the features we've selected for a product is rapid delivery. So now, you could start to think of new word associations around the idea of rapid delivery. This could be a bike courier, or fast food service, rapid delivery. Maybe airdrop on your phone, Amazon, online shopping, or maybe a racing car pit stop. That's pretty rapid. Come up with as many of these as you can. Now here's an interesting observation to note. In a previous video, I explained how our own brain is trying to direct our thinking down the path of least resistance. And that the best way to overcome this is to throw ourselves into new and unexplored territories. So notice what we've done here. We have just moved from just thinking about your product to thinking about fast food, couriers, and pit stops. That's definitely a couple of steps removed. And that's exactly where we want to be, trying to find our way back to our objectives. This is what this creativity tool will do for you. So go ahead, take a few extra deep dives into word associations until you think you've had enough. Then, sit back and look at your piece of paper and admire your masterpiece of a mind map. Isn't it cool? I have notebooks filled with this kind of stuff. So now, Start to look through the various words that you have written down, trying to find interesting combinations. Combine different circles and try to come up with ideas that could make them work as part of your specific campaign objectives. This is where it gets fun and can lead to literally dozens of fresh, out-of-the-box ideas for your campaign. For example, let's try combining the phrases pit stop and always learning, and see if we can generate some ideas for our communication campaign for patients. So how about drop in educational pit stops at congresses? Rapid delivery of good quality medical information. That sounds pretty cool. Or maybe an educational video with a car racing theme. You know, communicating something around the concept of speed and rapid delivery, linked to a theme that people understand and are familiar with. How about getting people to complete time knowledge challenges around the condition? Or maybe educational patches, you know, like those worn by race car drivers, to be worn on normally daily outfits. You see, we're combining rapid delivery, pit stop, racing car, anything to do with those themes together. All of these ideas just from one word combination. Try other combinations and see what you can come up with. Not every idea is going to be great, but that's not the point. You've heard the expression, there are no bad ideas. And that's because even bad ideas could help you get closer to a solution. With a few tweaks here and there and some changes and improvements, you could have something really unique and fresh on your hands. Now, this might seem like a fairly long exercise, and it can be. In the past, it's taken me maybe a couple of hours to complete on my own. But it's important that you keep practicing and using this tool whenever you can. Build more mind maps, practice more word combinations, and try to generate as many ideas as you can. Because over time, you will only get better at it. The process will become quicker and easier, to a point where after a while you won't even need to use the pencil and paper again. You'll be able to build these mind maps right on your head. And that's when you can start to look like a real genius to your colleagues and clients, particularly doing brainstorms, because you'll just be quietly sitting there at the back of the room, building your mind maps in your head and occasionally throwing a real gem at people. How do you do it? They will ask. Mind maps. That's how. For more creativity tools such as this one, check out our creativity manual. You'll find a link in the description. But for now, keep practicing, and I'll see you soon.